Happy Friday, friends, and welcome to Acoustic Guitar Showcase number 79. We are so glad to have you folks joining us on this lovely Friday afternoon, and we are very eager to jump into some most exquisite acoustic guitars that have arrived in our shop here in the last several weeks here. Of course, as always, folks, please say hello to my good friend Alejandro behind the controls here.
What's up, gang? How's it going?
He's the one running the show. We're just we're here along for the ride. So thank Hondro for his significant contribution, folks, if you would please.
Oh, thank Matt for his fingers.
Oh man, you know, folks, we're coming to you live on the about a week after the NAMM show here, and we have not received any of the guitars from the NAMM show yet. You'll have to stay tuned for that in a future acoustic guitar showcase, but you better believe we have been getting some very serious lumber in this shop, whether NAMM was going on or not. And this first guitar off the wall is a rather luxurious example of some premium tone woods. And this comes courtesy from our good friends up north at Bourgeois. And Hondro, if we could maybe take a little gander at this beauty here. I would love to do that. You can see a master grade, very figured Koa top on this guitar. This is a 42 style deluxe model from Bourgeois Guitars. This is a 14 fret OM. They sure spoiled us on these tone woods, though. They're just a really jaw-dropping, intricately figured top on this guitar. You can see that super colorful 42 style abalone trim going around the perimeter of the top as well as around our fingerboard extension here. We'll also see it going around the sound hole on that beautiful rosette as well. I have to tell you, I love the use of that English holly bridge, that really kind of ivory looking English holly bridge on this guitar really kind of ties into that sapwood. And we'll also notice a matching English holly binding around the entire guitar, the body, the neck, and the headstock, which we'll take a close look at here. The back and sides of this guitar, I want you to remember the grain and sort of the character of this top as I flip this around to the back side here, because we have what Bourgeois lovingly refers to as a six-piece set of Koa here, meaning both the top and the back have been book matched, and the sides are actually from an adjacent cut of that wood as well. So we're talking like maximum matching tone woods here between the top, back, and sides. Just a thing of beauty and just consistency in the grain orientation, again the coloration itself of this guitar. We'll enjoy that beautiful DB signature back strip going down the center of the back there. It really just pops out of that lighter sapwood in the center of that Koa too, in a beautiful way. If we look all the way down on the very bottom of the guitar, we will enjoy a floating Koa boxed tail wedge there. So totally all mitered in work there with a matching Koa tail wedge. Man, just again, ultra luxury here. Very sweet looking. We also have that matching nice English holly heel cap matching all of that binding. And all the way up on the headstock, we've got a matching, highly figured Koa veneer on the face of that headstock. I love that mother of pearl Bourgeois logo all the way up top there. We have the petite vine inlay work done on the face of the headstock, as well as on the face of our fingerboard here, and just what a perfect addition to this lovely, rather exotic looking guitar. An effortless looking bit of shell inlay there on the headstock and fingerboard. We'll also enjoy some fully engraved gold Waverly tuning machines there. Again, just top of the line, definitely fitting for a high-end 42 style guitar like this. This has the standard 1 3/4 inch nut width. We also have the standard 2 5/16 spacing down here. Again, at that holly bridge done in that pyramid shape as well, which is just so cool. This is a 14 fret guitar, as I said before, and this has the standard scale length of 25.5 inches. So ergonomically a standard OM, but far from standard in terms of its tone woods, its execution, and all the fine details. Sometimes when you get away from the spruce tops, away from the redwood and cedar tops, sometimes these hardwood tops sometimes can be a little bit unforgiving when you go to do kind of the rhythmic and strumming stuff. This koa top on this koa back and side guitar, I've got to say, is very satisfying to strum. It's a great rhythm guitar. Character, good headroom when you lean into it a bit there. Really quite a versatile guitar, especially for being an all koa guitar. Start right there, indeed. Indeed. Folks, as always, do not be shy with your keyboards and with your comments. We would absolutely love to hear from you. What have you been up to? It's been a little while since we've had our last acoustic guitar showcase. What have you folks been up to? We'd love to hear from you.
I've got two questions for you, Matt.
Yeah.
One, Ian Cummings is curious if we're going to do another Ryan showcase like we did last year.
Ian, you've apparently been reading our minds. Yes, we're lucky enough to have a boatload of guitars being shipped to us starting next week, actually, from our friends at Kevin Ryan, with the guitars that they had on display at the NAMM show this year, and their booth was scary this year. I was sad to not be able to see it in person. I was chomping at the bit to see the footage that the boys brought back home of their booth, and of course of other folks' booths too. But man, the offerings that Ryan brought were second to none. Ian, yes, we most enthusiastically plan to play through as many of those as we can while they're here. We're trying to arrange the shipping of those guitars with the folks at Ryan to where we can kind of hopefully have as many here at one time. I know we're not going to have all of them here at one time, but we'll do our best to show all of them. So
for sure,
do keep an eye out for that. That's going to be a good one.
And this one comes from Chris Gabriel. Was curious what would be your go-to acoustic for a live setting, like for bars or dive bars?
Good question. There's certainly options out there. When it comes specifically to your live performance type of thing, and if that's what the guitar is specifically being used for, and if you're not looking for the world's most inexpensive guitar to accomplish that, man, I got to tell you, that McPherson Sable carbon fiber guitar, I'll probably say that until I'm blue in the face, but that is such a great sounding, especially plugged in. They really sound great plugged in. Such a great sounding guitar, though. You don't have to worry about humidity. You don't have to worry about temperature. If somebody throws a bottle of beer at the front of it, it might leave a little scratch, but not like a hole that it would leave in your Martin or your Gibson guitar. Otherwise, man, I'll tell you, just a trusty, something like a trusty Yamaha with a good pickup in it, I mean, is a great stage guitar. Something that's comfortable in your hand, most importantly. And if it's a stage guitar, usually a pickup of some kind to your preference would be implied. But for me, that McPherson Carbon Sable would be the absolute ticket every time if I had my choice. Question. Folks, we will have a couple of guitars on the wall behind me today that are not yet up on our website. I'll just be real honest with you. This is one of them. You will soon find it on our website, but you will not find it on our website quite yet. So if you are interested and perhaps wanted to get a little bit of a head start on everybody else who might be interested, maybe give us a call before you see it on our website. This comes from our friends at Atkin, and they absolutely continue to impress us with every guitar that they send to our shop. This is an O37S model. So this is Atkin's small body, single O, 12 fret model, slotted headstock, very traditional in its design, certainly traditional in its aesthetics until you get to the custom color treatment, which we'll take a look at. But this is a really neat, really unique guitar that is really based on kind of a classic vibe. But Alistair Atkin there and his team of artisans really do some excellent, original, vibey stuff out of their shop there. Andro, let's take a look at this beauty here. We've got a surf green finished baked Sitka spruce top on this guitar. And as I said, this is a kind of a single O 12 fret design on this guitar. So you can see that ebony pyramid bridge is sunk way down into the body of this guitar. We also have that nice herringbone trim, very traditional looking, definitely that traditional rosette as well. I love the fact that they have applied not simply a tortoiseshell pickguard, but more of that Dalmatian style pickguard on this guitar. Really just took off with that blue finish and definitely gives it that vintagey kind of patinaed vibe on there in a really, really tasteful way. Really cool. Back and sides of this guitar are a luscious straight grain set of East Indian rosewood. We've got that nice zigzag back strip going down the center of the back there, rather traditional looking. No purfling on the back, though. Pretty simple all the way around. Just that grained ivoroid binding otherwise, but really a nice set of rosewood on this guitar. And if I get it in the light just right, you'll see that all of the finish on this guitar, the body, the neck, the headstock, every part of the finished part of the guitar has that kind of cracking, that checking in the nitrocellulose lacquer finish. Also true on the top of the guitar if we get it in the reflections there just right. So again, just a really tasteful, not relic or beat up, distressed kind of a look necessarily. Basically just that crazing that you see in the finish. You're not going to find a bunch of dings and dents and cracks, anything like that. All the way up on the face of the headstock, we will see a matching East Indian rosewood veneer, of course, slotted headstock being a small body 12 fret guitar. We've got the Atkin decal all the way up top there. Nice open gear tuning machines. Again, very, very traditional looking on this guitar. And this guitar has a 1 3/4 inch nut width. We did up the spacing at the bridge very slightly to 2 1/4 on this guitar. And this has kind of a medium thickness, very, very round C profile neck. So unlike a lot of the kind of pre-war inspired, Martin inspired guitars that oftentimes have somewhat of a soft modified V, this guitar has no presence of a V whatsoever. It is a C profile neck, very comfortable in the hand. And again, just a vibey guitar all the way around. old woody, kind of punchy character to it. Really nice, with a bit of mid-range forward kind of attitude in that guitar. Really think that the folks at Atkin have really found their sort of process for baking this Sitka spruce too. There is just, again, a responsiveness and openness and that woody old quality. That's a fun one.
Yeah, and Marco C put it pretty well. I think I got to agree with this straight up. Really nice sound, very defined, but not overly boxy for a small guitar.
Exactly.
The necks on these models are very comfortable.
Yep. Totally agree, Marco.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah, it's cool. You know, sometimes you get a little apprehensive about reaching for something with a pick on a little bit smaller guitar like that, but it's when it barks back at you in a really, cool way. It's like, oh yeah, this is that's pretty fun stuff.
And say hi to Jeff Jewett.
Jeff.
What's up, Jeff?
Appreciate you being here, man. Man, Jeff's been working on some incredible projects. If you don't follow Jeff on social media, go do yourself a favor right now. Give him a follow. He's been posting some tempting stuff. Really tempting stuff. Good to have you here, Jeff. Appreciate it. Impressively complex voice out of this little sweetheart here, Handra. Let's get into this one a little bit, folks. This is a Collings 003 in the 42 style. This has a German spruce top, so a 003. By definition, you can see that jet black finish all across the top of this guitar, just basically a mirror. Really beautiful though, especially when you take into account that 42 style abalone trim going all the way around the top, which just is like a laser beam coming out of that black finish. I love the fingerboard extension, the rosette there around the sound hole. Super traditional. Really just beautiful pyramid bridge there with a drop-in saddle. And a very dark tortoiseshell pickguard as well, looking very classy there. The entire guitar, all the way around, is bound in grained ivoroid, of course. And the back and sides of this guitar are a sweet set of very rich, very brick red Cocobolo. Beautiful set of wood here, and gotta say, just the visual sort of effect that nice black top has with that really sweet kind of almost cherry Cocobolo is an awfully sharp look all the way around. Of course, we've got that chevron marquetry back strip going down the center of the back. They're real colorful as well, tying in with the reds and everything of the Cocobolo. I love the greens and maples in there as well. Really classy back strip on this guitar. All the way up on the headstock, we'll see a bound and slotted headstock with one of my, if not my favorite, torch inlay in the entire business. This Collings torch inlay is absolutely as powerful as it gets. Gold Waverly tuning machines there for the slot head. Got the standard 1 3/4 inch nut width on this guitar with the 2 3/16 spacing down here at the pyramid bridge. And this guitar also has Adirondack spruce braces underneath this German spruce top. So stiffened up those internal braces a little bit, leaning into kind of the projection and the woodiness of this guitar. You know, the German spruce top combined with that Cocobolo back and sides usually provides a rather glassy, very active and complex tonal profile. I got to say, in the context of this specific guitar from Collings, there's a lot more wood in the tone of this and the character of this guitar than I was kind of anticipating. I really like that about it. I am not a ragtime player at all, but if any ragtime players are in or around St. Louis, please come in and play this guitar for us, because I think this would just be a ragtime player's dream come true, as well as other styles, don't get me wrong, but very sweet. I dig that.
All right, Matt. Question from Jim. Are you still using the Santa Cruz parabolic strings?
Oh, yes. Yes, I am.
Thought so.
Yeah, man. And I as I've said before, for a long time, like everybody else, at the very least, I would keep my ears open about, is there something somebody I know uses or really likes, or something new that's come out that's the new great thing or whatever. But once I started playing those Santa Cruz strings, those low tension parabolics, man, I kind of forgot about string shopping anymore. Speaking of which, Andrea, let's take a look at this beauty. This is a sweetheart. Folks, this is a Santa Cruz Style 1 that we did just a little bit of customization to. We honestly did not go completely overboard the way that many times we are kind of known for doing. But this is a rather small body, not the very smallest guitar offered by Santa Cruz, but definitely one of the smaller body options offered by Santa Cruz. This is the equivalent to like their single O size, hence the Style 1. But this top on this guitar, we were able to get a little bit custom with. This is a very beautiful, highly iridescent set of sinker redwood on this top. And man, talk about a dark, gorgeous top. And I've got to say, you know, within guitar building, when folks order sets of wood for guitars, they don't all just come in a same universal size and thickness. And, you know, you're dealing with many different origins and different size trees and different ways of processing it over the years, depending on who did it, when it was done, where it was done. Sets ultimately end up coming into these dealers in many different sizes and shapes and so on. This was a top that was a small top. It was not going to accommodate making a dreadnought or even an OM guitar, so this was destined to be a small body guitar. And what was so cool about this particular top was that signature and unique, incredible darkness that it has. And not every single sinker redwood top, while they are beautiful, not every single one looks quite like this. And this is pretty exemplary, if you ask me. Just very just glassy looking, you know, mirror-like looking. Is really nice stuff, but beautiful wood. We were able to bind this guitar in a lusciously beautiful, highly figured koa binding that just looks great on that, you know, dark tone top. And the back and sides of this guitar are a gorgeous set of straight grained East Indian rosewood. Just a gorgeous set of wood here all the way around. Nothing to complain about at all. And again, just a beautiful color match to that top. Just aesthetically a really nice looking set of woods all together in the same package there. But again, koa binding all the way around. Got that nice traditional zigzag back strip going down the center of the back there once again. And then all the way up on the headstock, we've got a slotted ebony headstock there, again, bound in that nice curly koa with the SCGC logo done in mother of pearl all the way up top. Nickel Waverly tuning machines here with those grained ivoroid buttons. Look really classy. Then we've got a bit of a streaky fingerboard on this guitar, ebony fingerboard and bridge, but a bit of color on there, which I really like. And then we've got the short pattern diamond and square fingerboard inlays on the face of this guitar as well. Under the hood, all of the boxes have been checked. It's Adirondack spruce braces, fully scalloped. Everything has been attached also using hot hide glue. So all the boxes in terms for a lightweight style build, a responsive build, and a guitar that really is going to age very gracefully, thanks due in part to that hot hide glue construction. Again, all the boxes have been checked there. So. And again, man, for a pretty small single O size guitar, got a throaty voice in this thing. kind of guitar that Emily will not allow me to bring home, because I'll sit down on the couch with this and about 3 days will go by and I won't know. That's fun. That one's fun.
Hey, Matt, what type of appointments did the ancient Egyptian pharaohs prefer on their guitars?
I'm going to say pyramid class bracing to start with. You got to start with the structure of the guitar first. No. Boy, is this going to be a joke or just like an actual question? Am I walking into something here?
It's a pyramid bridge. You're halfway there, man. That's from Marco. He specifically requested that I relay that to you.
Marco, this is going to be our last live stream. Thanks, man. That's pretty good. I'll probably have to use that.
Oh, John Cable's practicing along, learning your chords in real time.
John, do a live stream. I want to learn your chords in real time. The knuckle busters, as he calls them. Folks, we have reached a killer guitar off the wall. And Handro, let's take a look at this sweetheart here. This is a Atkin Hawaiian Master Deluxe, and this is the first quite like this that we've ever had in the shop. We've had a couple of the Hawaiian Masters now, but this is the first Deluxe model. This is the first gold top model as well. I really got to say, I just love that engraved pickguard thing going on down here. Almost has a little bit of that gold top Mary Ford kind of vibe going on a little bit. Definitely the old gold top, mid to late 50s Les Paul type of a treatment though. Really cool. Simple otherwise, though. We've got a pretty simple rosette, just a ivoroid binding around the body without any fancy purfling of any kind or anything. Now the deluxe models do come with bound necks, which we will see that bound rosewood fingerboard on this guitar. We also have those double diamond fingerboard inlays going all the way down the fingerboard. We also have the double diamond on the face of the headstock with the mother of pearl inlaid Atkin logo as well into that black face of that headstock. And then the back and sides of this guitar are a nice kind of a dark walnut stained mahogany back and sides, again with that kind of crackled checked finish all throughout this entire guitar. Once again, the Hawaiian Master as a model, and I should also mention this is a baked Sitka spruce top, kind of the standard option for this particular model. Baked Sitka and this mahogany, just amazing together. But the Hawaiian Master as a model itself is kind of based on loosely kind of the Roy Smeck 12 fret jumbo guitar. So the body itself is a deep body. It does not have an overwhelmingly huge amount of taper between the neck and the actual tail block of this guitar. So it's not dead straight all the way across, but it's a minor taper. So a fairly deep body guitar, 12 fret kind of jumbo Gibson kind of 30s style jumbo, but man, just a wide open voice to this guitar. This is one of the few guitars that makes me wants to play chunky power chords on it just because it's so in the pocket feeling. Definitely one of those guitars that almost feels like a pump, hitting that bass into you from behind there. This sucker's got some good moving bass response, as you can imagine from this big body, but it's got it. Very fun, and just such a cool theme to the visuals, and again in the right shade, that gold with that checking on that finish. Man, that's a pretty cool look.
Yeah, when I cracked that case open, it was like, that scene in Pulp Fiction when I opened the briefcase, and I was like, oh, you're just like speechless, like, whoa, I need this gold top acoustic.
Oh, we're good. Yes.
Matt, what pick are we using today?
Oh, okay. So I'm actually switching it up a little bit. I was so graciously gifted a very fine blue chip pick by my good friend Dave, and I've actually been using that pick for the last couple of weeks now, literally in my back pocket every single day. And as I was walking out my front door this morning, I saw my trusty old Kenny Smith blue chip 60 here, which I've been carrying around for the last 4, 5 years or so. I thought, we got a live stream today. Let me go back to the old trusty. But so today I'm using the Kenny Smith 60, but I do have the TDR 50, if I recall correctly. And Dave was kind enough to make sure I didn't lose it nor get it stolen. Had my name engraved on the back of it so everybody knows it's mine.
Find the lost and found.
But if it's not one blue chip, it's another. But today it's the Kenny Smith.
Nice. Marco wants us to commission a guitar with a holographic spinning rat on the back.
Marco, I think you're the only one that may have noticed that. I hope you're the only one that noticed that, Hondro.
And are we getting all of the cellar door Ryan finishes, or just most of them?
We are getting all of the Ryans.
Cool. So yeah,
all of the cellar doors.
Everything you saw in that video we posted.
Everything you saw in the video we posted is destined for our shop. Now, bear in mind, some of those guitars have been spread around with a little bit of early access to some folks we know and love a lot. And some of those are going to be spoken for pretty early, if not already. So
shoot us an email if there's one you're interested in.
Shoot us an email, yeah. If you're interested, or you even want information on them to find out if you might be interested, yeah, reach out earlier than later for sure.
There was another one on here. Dave was curious, how was the action on that Hawaiian gold top?
Oh, really good, really good. I can't swear to it. I'd have to double check. It feels like it's set up with like a 12 through 53, 12 through 54, kind of a light gauge phosphor bronze string. The action is not too high on that guitar at all. It's very, very playable, but without, buzzing out, rattling out if you dig in a bit. I got to say, the Atkin guitars in general have been set up as good as you could ever hope for. I mean, just especially coming from across the ocean
overseas,
to us. So very happy with everything about the guitars they've sent us, quite frankly. Folks, we've got a fancy one off the wall, and this is the one I had to tease for our little live stream announcement for all the obvious reasons. folks. We are lucky enough to be playing 2 all premium Koa guitars from our friends at Bourgeois today. If you've been with us for the duration here, you'll remember the Koa OM that we played earlier, first in the stream. This is a lovely, lovely mate to that guitar. Again, this is the OMSC. This is the 12 fret variation with that beautiful Venetian cutaway on there, which sinks that bridge down lower into the gut of the guitar, further away from where that X brace meets, actually under the top of the guitar, giving this top really a little bit freer, looser responsiveness. Acting a little bit more like that active diaphragm and really leaning into the, again, just the dynamics and the bass response that come out of this guitar. But a filthily figured, almost coming out from all directions, Koa top on this guitar. And once again, I want you to take special note of just sort of some of the little details in this top here, some of the little intricate grain lines here, because when we flip this guitar over, we will appreciate once again that this is a totally book-matched set of Koa all the way around this guitar. So kind of a flitch match set, as they would call it there. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, crazy figured Koa all throughout this guitar. We are bound here in a gorgeous Cocobolo binding here, and I should also mention that beautiful rope purfling going around the entire perimeter of the top that just perfectly ties in with the tones of that Koa as well as the tones of the Cocobolo binding. We also have that matching rope rosette going around the sound hole as well. And then we've got a lot of really fun Ziracote details. We've got a Ziracote pyramid bridge down here with some really great grain. We've got a Ziracote fingerboard on this guitar, again with a lot of that landscapey, spiderwebby grain in there. We also have a beautiful Cocobolo veneer on the face of this headstock as well, tying in with the Cocobolo binding on this guitar. Just a thing of beauty all the way around. I love the 3 on a plate brass Waverly tuning machines there with the snake wood buttons. Really a classy look. Of course, the diamond volute on the back of that slotted headstock as well. We, of course, as usual, not as always, but as usual, have the standard 1 3/4 inch nut width, 2 5/16 spacing down here at the pyramid bridge, and a beautiful, awesome feeling standard carve for the Bourgeois neck here. Very, very soft V profile, a wonderful satin nitrocellulose lacquer finish that they apply to the back of the neck as well. So a rather light but satin finish on the back of this neck. All of the boxes have been checked. Age tone, torrified Adirondack spruce braces, which have all been applied using hot hide glue. We've got the age tone proprietary finish in this guitar. Pretty much, again, all the boxes have been checked, fully scalloped, fully tuned by hand. Again, just a beautiful, luxurious 12 fret, all Koa. And again, as we were kind of exploring a little bit with the Koa 14 fret OM earlier from Bourgeois, not all guitars, not all Koa-topped guitars are created equal when it comes to being potentially a rhythm guitar. I gotta tell you, these are a couple top of the heap rhythm instruments for being Koa-top guitars. baby. We might need to set this one down. This one's a little too excellent.
Somebody get it away from Matt. He's got Koa craziness.
Coicidus.
Coicidus.
That's cool.
I got an interesting one here from Cheyenne. I've heard dealers say that they could remove the pickguard from any new guitar without leaving a trace. Is that true?
That's a very bold and very blanketed statement, and I would simply for that reason say no, that's not true. No, that's not true.
No. Maybe the builders might try, but wouldn't even want them to do that.
I'm just going to throw one example as far as it being a blanketed statement. There are companies out there who lacquer over their pick guards, and so I don't think that's something I'd want to go trying to remove with lacquer over the pick guard. Like you look at the authentic Martin guitars or any original old Martin guitars that has finish over the pick guard. So if you take that pick guard off, you're going to have a top without any finish on it because the finish goes on top of the pick guard. That's an extreme example, but I think probably what the poster is referring to is not having a tan line, necessarily. Mm-hmm. That really just boils down to how long has the pick guard been on the guitar, how much UV has it seen, and has the rest of the top, assuming it's a blonde top, taken on any tan or color from light exposure. You might be able to get it off, and it might be really subtle, and it might eventually literally even out completely with the rest of the top. You got to be a little careful and know the worst case scenarios and those situations, though, and you might be living with a blonde pickguard line there for a little while until the rest of it catches up with the coloration of the rest of the top. But I would say in general it's a safe thing to do, assuming you're a qualified individual who can remove a pickguard safely, or have a tech that can do it. But you never know what's underneath that pickguard until you get it off, whether it's going to be a lighter color or not. So, good observation. And let's take the pickguards off everything. Folks, we have moved on to a lifetime of a guitar in a Froggy Bottom H12 Limited. If you're followers of Froggy Bottom guitars, it's probably not news to you that the future of Froggy Bottom guitars still to this day is a little bit unknown. What's going to happen moving forward in the next handful of years with Froggy Bottom as a company. With that potential in mind, with that uncertainty in mind, we have been working very closely, very hands-on, and have been very lucky to do so with my friend Michael Millard at Froggy Bottom Guitars. And we have really put our heads together to have some of perhaps the most special instruments built that they as a company have built, at least in the running. This is a great example of exactly what I'm referring to. Handra, let's take a gander here. This, as I said, is a H12 limited grade model, so top of the heap for Froggy Bottom, and Froggy Bottom themselves are top of the heap in general for guitar makers. But the top that we have here is one of Michael's famous 1876 vintage German spruce tops, and this is some of our very favorite soundboard material from any maker that we have access to. This is precious, precious, old, ridiculous quality European spruce from Germany. And we are absolutely lucky to even be able to look at it, touch it, much less hear it and enjoy it in that sense. Being a limited grade guitar, you can see that beautiful natural caught power shell going all the way around the perimeter of the guitar, just opulence all the way through there, including around that cutaway, which I just love that detail. We also have that matching power rosette going around the sound hole of the guitar there. I love that kind of small, kind of micro teardrop tortoise pickguard on the face of the guitar as well. And of course the beautiful pyramid bridge down there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Just the silking in that top, my goodness. You will not beat that. Folks, we've got a frightening set of 5A quilted Honduran mahogany, courtesy of our favorite tree, the tree. The tree mahogany kind of speaks for itself. It really requires no introduction. So here it is. We've got that beautiful power back strip going down the center of the back, slicing those two book match halves in half there. And I should have mentioned the body and neck of this guitar, or I'm sorry, the body of this guitar rather, is bound in that nice curly koa binding. We also have a really cool kind of quilted maple heel cap there as well. I want to draw your attention down here to a matching figured maple tail wedge tying in once again with all of the maple binding on this guitar. But again, just wild quilting figure all the way throughout this gorgeous mahogany. One thing that I really appreciate about just what the folks at Froggy Bottom do out of respect for this wood, there is no color at all in the finish of this wood. This is a clear finish put on natural wood, so you're not seeing any stain, anything enhancing any contrast or grain orientation. This is the natural effect of the wood under a beautifully buffed finish there, so we're appreciating it in its full natural appearance there, which is just incredible to behold. All the way up on the headstock, we've got a killer, one of my favorite headstock designs, especially the slotted headstock. That's a beautiful 5A Brazilian rosewood veneer on the face of that headstock with that gorgeous abalone frog inlay all the way up top. We've got the gold Waverly tuning machines. These are the high ratio 21-to-1 nickel Waverly open gear tuning machines specific for the slot head, of course. Then we have the number 7 Fleur de Lis full length fingerboard inlay. Powerful, powerful stuff. Love this inlay pattern from Froggy Bottom. It's one they've offered for a long time. It is classic and it is awesome. Perfect fitting for this guitar. And again, just crazy detail throughout any Froggy Bottom guitar, but you better believe when they're dealing with completely irreplaceable tone woods, both like this 1876 German spruce top and the tree mahogany back and sides. Lots of love and careful preparation go into the execution of this guitar. folks, I should have also mentioned this guitar has a 25-inch scale length, which really gives it just a supple sweetness all the way up this 12th fret fingerboard and beyond, thanks to that nice Florentine cutaway that this guitar has. Love that shimmer, presence of overtones there. Believe this will make a fine crown jewel to someone's collection.
Matt, to your knowledge, has there been a fully the tree guitar all the way around?
Oh, yeah. Well, fully in the sense, to my knowledge, top, back, sides, and neck.
Okay.
Fingerboard and bridge, not that I'm aware of. Check out Joy Guitars, Joi Guitars. They actually just, I wasn't at NAMM, but Griffin and Kyle showed us some photos of the Joy guitar that he brought that was in the in the Boutique Luthier's showcase. And it was again, like I said, the tree top, the tree back and sides, the tree mahogany neck. And I don't think that that's the first one that Joy Guitars has ever made. I think there's maybe a couple of those floating around out there. I have never played one before, but a very slight teaser. We do have not an all tree guitar, but an all the tree bodied guitar in production right now with one of our all-time favorite builders. I don't want to spoil anything, and the guitar is already spoken for. But we're going to make sure that the guy who's getting it lets us show it off a little bit, because how often do you get to see that? Not very often. So yeah, there's we got some stuff in the works, folks. We got some stuff. And I'm sorry, did you have another question? I'm just going to keep on rambling here.
Ramble.
As I said at the beginning of the stream, NAMM is now behind us, so we are simply waiting for a number of folks to start shipping us guitars so we could start sharing them with you folks. We hope to be able to do that really soon. But before we do that, next week, I want to give you folks a sneak peek heads up that our good friend, Mr. Tony Policastro, who you know from Acoustic Life, perhaps old school, if you've been following Tony for a long time, the Acoustic Letter even, but most certainly from the Acoustic Tuesday show, which we all miss a whole lot. And Tony's Acoustic Challenge, his amazing lesson program. Tony's going to be joining us next week in the shop here, which we are super excited about. We always love having him in our shop because we geek out way too freaking hard on everything. So we plan to come to you folks live next Thursday at 4 p.m. We will have a proper announcement for it as well. But for you, for those of you joining us live, we wanted to give you a heads up. If you can, clear your calendar for next Thursday, 4 p.m. Central. We will be going live with Tony, and the subject of the matter we'll be discussing will be kept secret until then. But it will be fun. Trust me, it will be a lot of fun. So check that out next week. And anything else you got for me?
No, we just got some favorite guitars coming in.
We need to know your favorite guitars, folks. But before we get to that, Hondro, what spoke to you?
I'm gonna have to go with the Froggy Bottom from a purely sound perspective. Well, not purely. I mean, obviously it's gorgeous all the way around. That one perked my ears up the most personally.
I don't think anybody is gonna scold you for saying that.
Yeah, but style points to just about every other guitar on the wall there.
Yes.
Especially like the painted tops. Like we
Right.
deal so much with insanely figured wood that's like hard to find and
Right.
you know hard to work with sometimes. And then you see these where they paint right over the top, and some people that may piss them off, but I think it's cool. So.
It is, and it's again I've used this word too many times, and I'm sorry. It is a vibe that you cannot achieve a different way. It's not a vibe that you can get with wood. And, you know, sometimes paint, sometimes paint's the way to go.
Which one was your favorite?
Boy, my goodness, where have we been? Where do we go? That I gotta say that Collings was surprising, because with German spruce and Cocobolo, I said it before, I was expecting a miniature lap piano. It can do some of that, but the wood in the voice of that guitar is so awesome. I'm sure some of it's due to its size, the tight waist, all that, being a 12 fret and everything, but that's got more attitude in its tone than I was expecting out of its makeup. I really like it. I love both the Atkins. I love both of the Alcoa Bourgeois guitars, and then the Style 1 too. I know I'm picking all of them, but the Style 1 is like one of a kind in its tone. And again, a guitar you can dig into more than you would think on paper. But all that said to say, I got to go with the Froggy Bottom. I mean, how often do you see a Froggy Bottom with the tree, much less a 12-fret cutaway Froggy Bottom with the tree, not to mention the vintage German spruce top. I might have to land here, but that's between you and I, huh?
We might have to pull you away from that one. Yeah. Yeah, we got Froggy, Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Froggy, Santa Cruz, or the Bourgeois OMS. Froggy.
Maybe we should start with the Froggy Bottoms next time. Oh well, all in good fun. Folks, this has been a good one. All sorts of fun stuff, and as I said, there is only more good stuff coming down the pipeline for us here. So if you see anything here, obviously reach out if you might be interested, but if you don't see anything here, just keep on watching. We got more coming. So that's the way it always is. But folks, we again appreciate you joining us. Again, keep in mind next week, Thursday, 4 p.m. If you want to join us live, maybe jot that in your calendar. It'll be a good time, I'm sure. But we will plan to see you all next week. Have a fabulous weekend, and we'll plan to catch you all in the next